Funny story for you guys. Okay. Well, I don't think we told this story on the channel before. We were in Vegas for 300. Okay. We were having a bachelor party. It was my bachelor party. We're watching the fights. Me and Brevin had a parlay, and the last leg of the parlay was for the Gaethje and Holloway fight to go the distance. And we would have been in some fat profit.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode here on Locked Door MMA. We're your hosts. I'm Brevin. This is my good buddy JP. We are so excited to be back with you guys for another week. We are set up for an absolute amazing card on paper this weekend. UFC 308, Topuria versus Holloway. Before we dive into this weekend's card, just want to give a quick thank you to all of you as our current viewers, the current subscribers that we have. And if you're a non-subscriber, that's okay too, but it's free to do. We'd really appreciate it if you go ahead, hit that subscribe button, join the Locked Door community. We'd love to have you over here. We talk a lot of shit. We have a lot of fun. It's always a good time. JP, without further ado, let's dive into this absolutely stacked card. After these UFC fight nights, is this kind of a relief to have or what?
Such a relief. All right? We don't got no women's MMA. I'm not shitting on it. I'm just saying.
Hold on now.
We just don't have 3 dog-ass level fights in a row. Okay? Like you said, cards stacked from top to bottom. A lot of underrated people in here, I feel like. And then the co-main and the main, fireworks, bro. Very excited for those two.
I think this is the perfect mix. We've got a lot of up-and-coming guys. We got a lot of guys that are middle of the pack, maybe a little bit underrated, like you said. But we also have a lot of big names as well towards the top. So you kind of get a mixture of all 3 phases there.
100%. Very excited. Early one, though. Which, it's nice to switch it up a little bit. Don't got to stay up. But yeah, man, I'm excited. Let's jump straight into it. First fight on the night, Bruno Silva versus Ismail Naurdiev.
Yeah, this one's going to be a good fight to kick us off. Ismail, let's see. I don't believe he's fought in the UFC. Okay, he's fought in the UFC a little bit before that. He was in the ACB promotion. Haven't really heard of that one before this card's research, to be honest with you. Came into the UFC, hasn't done the best, but he can be explosive at times. That's the one thing I do like about him. Now, he's interesting because he's actually someone that came into the UFC, fought a few times, left the UFC, and then now is back. And so sometimes when you see that, it's normally a pretty good sign that the guys have developed what they've needed to work on to be successful inside the UFC, which I like. I mean, he has a high-level fight against a guy like Sean Brady. That was impressive. He ended up losing by decision, but Sean Brady, he's a guru on the ground. He's great on the feet, in the pocket. So, like, that's impressive in its own right. His opponent, on the other hand, I don't think is going to do a ton in this fight. Bruno Silva, we've seen him against some of these up-and-coming guys like Shara Magomedov, who's fighting later on, fought an old Chris Weidman, lost back in March. Not very impressive. Right. Hey, whatever, man. Those things happen. And he's on a 3-fight skid. Now, all 3 of those guys, pretty good opponents there, but never really a good look. So in this one, I'm going to go with the guy that I believe has more upside. Give me Ismail Naurdiev to get it done on Saturday to kick us off for UFC 308.
Yeah, I like that call, dude. Bruno, I don't know. The whole thing with the eye poke, and then he fell over after getting eye poked, and then Chris hit him and the fight stopped. Yeah, I mean, it is weird. You got to still defend yourself and have the ref break it up, but Bruno, he's got nothing on the ground. Ishmael's at least competent. He's got a couple wins by sub on the ground. But Bruno's going to stand and bang with you. I mean, we know what he is. My only thing is Ismail throws great leg kicks, and he throws them often. And the way that Bruno stands, his lead leg is way out there. Chris Weidman was hitting him with leg kicks So I think if Ishmael starts early with those, he can land a couple hard ones. Once you get like 3 or 4 landed, I mean that shit just sucks. Even if you do check him from that point out. So I'm also gonna go with Ishmael, man. I think he can do it. Is he the dog or no?
I believe he might be the slight favorite. I believe
Yeah.
this one's a little close at this current moment, but he also has decent grappling, pretty good wrestling. And like you said, he's explosive with those leg kicks. I do think he can chop away at the legs of Silva, who will be, I think actually they're the same height and have the same reach. Silva normally is a little bit lengthier, than most of these guys, but they're actually going to match up very identical on this one.
It's a good call
All
though.
right, that does move us up to the next one. Now, if these are out of order, don't hate us. We're just following here on Tapology. We're shifting around these fights all the time with guys pulling out like one of the Tafa brothers. What do you know? We'll get to that later. And this one, Ibo Aslan versus Rafael Cerqueira.
Uh, Ebo Aslan. You know who Ebo Aslan reminds me of? Ion
Who?
Kutelaba.
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay? The way that they both come forward and strike. He'll hit you. Boy, will he hit you. He'll hit you hard as fuck. But if he misses, his chin is just sticking out and he's fucking stiff. So he's open for counters. Rafael, he's got a bit of a kicking game. It's not terrible. I was watching one of his fights, and they were in the smallest cage I've ever seen in my life. That cage, I don't know where they were fighting, but that thing was tiny. That thing was smaller than my garage, bro.
Did you see how the ref was trying to maneuver himself inside of that fight?
Yeah,
Like, there was no place for the referee to go.
it's so small, so small. I could jump across that cage. Um, I don't know, dude. I don't like the come forward and Ebo. I don't care what you say. When you walk around with that much muscle and that much strength and you're throwing with that much conviction, they will gas out. It always happens. So much oxygen is needed to carry around those muscles and swing with that power 24/7. I like Rafael's kicking game. If he can stay away from Ebo's fucking big right hand, his explosive, as soon as he gets close to you, then he'll uncork hooks. I think he can stay at range enough. I think he's decent enough, dude. So I'm gonna go Rafael Cerqueira or however you say his last name. I think he can do it. Little dog action for you.
Yeah, dog action early. This is going to be Rafael's UFC debut, so keep that in mind. He is going up against a guy like Ebo who does come forward, swings big, swings kind of sporadic, has some power. I will give him that. But I do believe in this one. Sakura has a lot more to offer. He's a big guy. He's a really big guy. And I believe over in Brazil, he was fighting at heavyweight. He's coming down to light heavyweight. I think that's going to help the gas tank. And he's probably still going to carry some power. JP alluded to it. He throws a very, very nice left kick. He'll throw it to the head. He'll throw it to the body. He'll chop away at the legs. And he seems very calm. That's the one thing that I noticed about him is in no matter what situation he got into, he was very composed, knew what he was doing, knew where he had to get to in order to better the position for himself. I like his IQ in this one. I like the power, and I like his ability in this matchup to potentially counterstrike and land a big strike that ultimately knocks Ebo out. So I'm also taking Rafael Sakira, the dog.
Yeah, man. I think he's more defensively sound when it comes down to it when they start exchanging. I just don't. I don't know. Picking a guy like Ebo, you're always playing with fire because at any point he misses, and other dude, all you got to do is land it clean on the chin. He's going out. Anyways, moving up, a guy we've seen before. I think we also saw him in Abu Dhabi last time as well. Rinat Fakhretdinov versus Carlos Leal.
Yeah, Renat the Rat. I love this guy. His nickname's the Gladiator. I always call him the Rat. He's had some good fights as of late. Was 4-0 in his UFC career thus far. The one blemish on the record, if you will, was the draw that came against Zaleski. Fought very well in the first 2 rounds. I believe got 10 aided in the third round, if I do recall. He will kind of gas towards the end. That was something that we had to watch out for, especially in the Nicholas Dalby fight. Dalby is a gas killer. That went to split decision in favor of Renat. I mean, he's doing grappling against Craig Jones, ended up losing one. Like he has a very good skill set, is what I'm getting at. He can throw hands, he can exchange, but he's also going to look to grapple you, turn into a backpack, take you down. He has a win over Brian Battle, who we like a lot, who throws really good hands as well. His opponent, Carlos Leal, coming over from the PFL, carries a lot of power in his hands, but that seems to be his game. It's just relying on the power coming forward, pressuring, getting you back up against the fence, landing a big shot. I think Renat's going to be able to stay safe in this one. I really like his overall skill set. Look for him to start fast. Look for that submission victory. If it goes deep waters into the third round, maybe Leal can find something on the jaw and catch Renat, but I don't think that's going to happen. Give me Renat Fakhretdinov to get done.
Renat's going to be bigger. I mean, not by much, but he's got bigger reach. He's taller. Carlos just, if the fight does go to the ground, which I think it will, I don't think Carlos can really do anything to threaten per se, and then it's sucks to get up out of this cage. You got to get to the fence, and this dude will be on you 24/7. And like you said, Brevin, he's got hands too, so it's not terrible. But I just don't like anything that Carlos does. I mean, 30 years old, coming from PFL. We just can't have Renat gas out. That's my biggest thing. I think it goes long personally, but I just hope it doesn't. He doesn't gas out. Because in the Dalby fight, and that's what gave Dalby a argument, which, like you said, Nicholas Dalby's not a pushover. He's a tough fight. So one thing I will say, and I will probably say this more in the card, if these fights with these OVEV guys goes to decision, I'm just saying, if it's a close fight, probably going to the OVEV. Don't believe me? Look it up. Okay? Just saying. But I am also going to go with Renat Fakhretdinov.
Awesome. Let's move up to this one. Debatable, JP. Is this going to make a running at the Poop Bowl? I'll let you decide. Kennedy Nzechukwu versus big boy Chris Barnett. He went to the free buffet last weekend, which is why he pulled out of the fight. Now he's getting into this one against a big dude. Kennedy standing at 6'4". Chris is only going to be 5'9".
Did you ever hear the real reason why he pulled out?
No, I didn't.
Apparently a tornado hit his house. Brevin's over here saying he found a free buffet. Chris Barnett.
Well, let's just say I'm glad he's okay. Hopefully, he's got some good insurance and nobody was harmed in that tornado.
Chris Barnett. A couple things to note for you. Okay. Chris Barnett came on the scene, really got popular when he fought at MSG, and he threw a spinning hook kick and knocked John Vellante out. Okay. And then he did like a front flip. Everybody's going crazy. After that fight, Chris Barnett lost to Big Booty Boudet. You want me to go on, or you want me to stop there? He beat Jake Collier after that. And then he's had 4 fights canceled. Kennedy Nzechukwu. He fights Carlos Ulberg, eats shots like crazy, like he wakes up in the morning, eats them for breakfast, and then fights other people, goes out cold. Don't get it, but like Brevin said, this dude is 6'4", Barnett's 5'9". I mean, 83-inch reach to 75. Is Chris Barnett going to out-grapple him? Nope. So give me Nzechukwu on the cards. Get me away from this fight. It's so boring. I guarantee it.
I'm actually somewhat excited to see this one. Um, Mainly because Kennedy's moving up to heavyweight. He's been fighting at light heavyweight. I'm excited to see what he can do with a few extra lbs on him. He's always been a very powerful guy, but always seemed to lack the speed that it took to compete at light heavyweight, and that's just the truth. And I think that's why he's made this move to heavyweight. I mean, he's humongous, so maybe there's something there. I'll be excited to see what he can do if he can avoid getting KO'd. Obviously, that power is going to be even more so at the heavyweight division than it was at light heavyweight. He's shown to get knocked out at light heavyweight. Who knows? But it'll be interesting to see what he can do. Sometimes he has like really great fights and he looks very promising, and other times not so much. But hopefully, Saturday is one of those times. I'm also taking Kennedy and Nzechukwu. I think he gets it done at his heavyweight debut on Saturday. Good fight. I think I skipped one, JP. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry.
You're
Viewers
good.
at home, I'm very sorry. Let's move on down. Farid Basharat going up against Victor Hugo.
I think Victor Hugo, in order to win, needs to dominantly impose himself with gas tank and pressure with the guy he's fighting. I think that's how he gets most of his wins. I think Farid Basharat does that better and at a higher level. They both, I feel like, kind of have the same style in the terms that they both can strike a little bit. If it gets close, they're going to grapple you, and they're decent at grappling. I just feel like Basharat, which he's one of the brothers, right? Isn't there another one? Like Havid Basharat or something too?
I think so, but he's the much better
Yeah, he's a better
Basharat.
brother. Yeah, man. I mean, I just is Victor Hugo. I think this is his second fight in the UFC. Yeah, his first
Yeah.
fight he fought Pedro Falco. Like who exactly? Yeah, man. Not much to say. I think Farid Basharat, he's undefeated. I think he's staying that way.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you. I'm also taking Farid Basharat. Not gonna spend a ton of time on this fight. However, one thing to keep an eye out for is his opponent Hugo hasn't lost since like 2015.
Yeah, that's a good
So
point.
he's been on an absolute tear. He's very skilled, granted, not much competition, and a lot of these wins are in jiu-jitsu tournaments and other you know, other facets of MMA, other organizations, just all over the place. I don't even know some of these names, to be honest with you. Quality Combat 13. What is that? Qualified Combat, whatever, I guess. But that's kind of the story. And so, yeah, 2-0 going into the UFC, getting put up against a guy like Basharat. A little bit of a trap just because it's not a great line whatsoever. Basharat's going to be your heaviest favorite of like the entire card, which is a little interesting to me. Little dangerous. I do believe in Basharat, but still no easy out. There's no easy opponent on this one.
Yeah, that one in the. I mean, I think Kennedy's gonna win, but his fucking line's like minus 450 too.
Right. And it's the heavyweight division. Like we saw that last weekend
Yeah,
when everyone was betting against Austin Lee. It can happen.
exactly. Like some of these lines, I don't understand, man. But moving up the card, Abus Magomedov versus Bruno Ferreira.
Yeah, this one's gonna be an interesting matchup. Abus Magomedov, more of the rangy striker, trying to sit on the outside, piece you apart. He is going to be the much taller fighter in this one. He's 6'2". His opponent's going to be 5'10". He's got a 6-inch reach advantage, but it's not necessarily the hands that Bruno's going to have to watch out for. He throws a lot of kicks up the middle, teep kicks, kicks to the calf. He uses uh, that front up kick very well, and then he throws a lot of the left leg, to a very efficient calf kick. Something to watch out for. Bruno Ferreira, very powerful guy. He's going to rush forward, try to look to knock your head off. He gets in some all-out wars, and that scares me a little bit. We kind of saw Abus get clipped and then fold against Sean Strickland not too long ago, which I mean turned out to be a good loss for Abus. It's just going to be interesting to see how he handles the power of Ferreira. He certainly has it, but I do think he gets enough done early in the fight to kind of keep Ferreira at his range and control the fight. I'm taking Abus Magomedov to get it done. Look for him to possibly go to decision. Ferreira is a very tough dude. I just think the kicking and the punching is going to be enough for Magomedov.
Yeah, Ferreira's another guy that, like you're saying, comes forward and tries to knock your head off. Um, I just don't. It's when we're in the clinch, and it's when we're really close to where it sort of becomes a brawl. Right before we get up against the cage, is when they throw those hard hooks that they just sit down on their shots and fucking clip you. Maybe to the body, they'll mix it up. But like you're saying, Abus, he's got a great kicking game to keep him at range. 6 inches of reach. I mean, 6'2" to 5'10". I don't care what anybody says. It's hard to fight somebody who's that much bigger than you and longer than you. It's real hard, especially when they're deadly accurate with their jab. He throws that looping jab out there too. Yeah, man. And again, if it goes to scorecards, I think Abus will have the edge. So I'm also going to take Abus Magomedov. Jesus Christ, I almost knocked over everything over here. But yeah, I'm also going with Abus.
Yeah, I like that call there. I mean, people don't talk about it enough. He won the first round against Sean Strickland. Looked very good in that first part of the fight. Obviously, Sean Strickland kind of ate him up, chopped him down, got the win. I don't think Bruno has the defense to necessarily do what Sean Strickland did. And that's really been the biggest blemish in Abus's game was when Sean Strickland pieced him up.
Exactly.
Keep in mind too, that was a 5-round fight, and I think Magomedov was trying to save a little something in the tank for that fight to go long. This is 3 rounds. Let it go. Let those kicks fly. I think he's gonna find a lot of success.
Because you know Ferreira's coming out like a bat out of hell.
Right. Yeah, and he can gas himself out too. He carries a lot of muscle.
Mm-hmm.
He calls himself the Hulk. He throws big looping hooks. That can definitely tire a guy out. I think Abus then takes advantage of that, kind of pieces him up from the outside.
100%.
All right. Next fight, we have Mikabek Orolbai versus Matus Rebecki, JP's favorite fighter, Mikabek.
Oh, man. If it isn't Mito back or a bite. Yeah. Mito back. This guy. Great grappler. Phenomenal wrestling. Phenomenal pressure wrestling. He's one of the guys that, at a high level, when he gets you down, you can do a bunch of different things to work your way back up, and he's constantly grabbing the other ankle, pulling your butt away from the cage, letting you build one knee, and then dropping you back down. This dude is nonstop. He's a big guy, too. He's bigger than Rebecki in this fight, which is another thing that I'm worried about. He's not terrible in the striking either. He'll stand up, but he'll use his striking gorgeously to get you worried about the hands. Boom, change levels right on your hips. Rebecki, another guy. Muscly, powerful, like a bat out of hell. I mean, fast twitch. These guys are going to come out, look to take your head off. If you can't do it in the first round, get to the second round. Mito back. Crawls on your back. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
Nothing.
GG's.
GG's. That's all she wrote. I'm taking Mito
Yeah.
back or a bite.
Yeah, love that call. I'm also rocking with JP. Give me back Orolbai. Yeah, I think he gets it done. Like JP said, he's got great wrestling. Really, all 3 phases of the fight game, he's gonna dominate over Rebecki. Rebecki's really gonna have to find that knockout shot, similar to what I think Ferreira's gonna have to do, and some of these other guys as well. Maybe you can hedge a Rebecki KO just because I do think that's his only path to victory is just catch Mitabek slipping. I think this one's going to be a pretty dominant win, if you ask me. I like Mitabek a lot.
Yeah, dude, you gotta if you're picking Rebecki, you gotta basically bet on a home run shot. Hope he hits it. If we get out of the first round and he didn't hit it, just saying, if he gets taken down. Anyways, moving up the card, a familiar face.
Really familiar face
Some would say. Some
in person.
would say we hang out a little bit. Okay, those are rumors. Can't confirm nor deny, but I might have. Jeff Neal and Rafael Dos Anjos, aka Walmart Boy.
We might have to throw some photos up on the screen for this one, JP. That's
Please don't. I'm not even gonna lie. I think I'm wearing this shirt in that photo. I'm not even lying.
are you really?
I might be wearing this shirt in that photo.
We'll have to confirm. Maybe we'll get it up on the screen if JP is feeling generous.
I also got
Jeff Neal
glasses on.
versus.
I don't know. We'll have to think about
Hey
that.
man, we might as well. We don't know how many more fights RDA is going to actually have, so now
It's
is the
true.
time. Jeff Neal going up against an old man RDA. RDA does things a lot, or he does a lot of things well, excuse me, but he is the ripe age of 40. He's kind of coming out of the prime years of his career. He's done a lot of fights recently, a lot of them on short notice. He puts on a show every single time. I just think in this one, Jeff Neal has the keys to success. He's the much bigger fighter. He hits very hard. He's fought better opponents as of late. I don't really fault him for the loss to Ian Gary. That's a good loss. He lost to Shavkat. Good loss. Okay. Beat Vicente, beat Santiago Ponzinibbio. Like those are all really good wins there. Coming off of those or before those two losses. I still think he has stuff to offer this division. He just has been matched up against a lot of these up and coming guys, used as a gatekeeper, if you will. Finally, he gets a shot to no longer gatekeep, but maybe retire. RDA. I think he gets it done. Give me Jeff Neal.
Yeah, it's a good call. Yeah, the Ian Gary and Shavkat fights. Those are the main two things I was going to touch on. Shavkat, killer. Everybody knows that. Ian Gary, feel the way you want about him. Dude's a good fucking fighter. Okay, and Jeff Neal impressed me in that fight. Even though he lost, I thought Ian Gary was going to work him. Definitely didn't. Jeff Neal
Yeah.
impressed me in that. Rafael Dos Anjos is going to try and do the same thing that Ian Gary did. He's just not going to be as good at it. And I like Rafael. Okay? When he was champ, his run, he was deadly. Saw him at Walmart. Great time. Love Rafael, but you guys have heard it here before. Fade the 40s. I didn't listen to myself last week, and I lost. So maybe it's time to shut up, take my own advice, fade the 40s. Give me Jeff Neal.
Yep. I agree with you there. Feels bad. We both are RDA fans. We really are. You don't want to see him lose ever, but Jeff Neal has the wrestling defense. He has the hands. I think he definitely catches RDA. I could potentially see a KO, TKO, but RDA is tough. He's tough, so maybe it goes long.
Be a good one.
All right. Moving up. Shara the Bullet Magomedov versus Armin Petrosyan.
Shara the Bullet. A man familiar to the channel. Won us money twice. You know that, Brevin. So Shara holds a special place in my heart. Okay? Armin Petrosyan. Some may say gatekeeper. Some may say it. Would I? Maybe. Petrosyan's got good stand-up. He's been around. I think the last time Petrosyan was knocked out. Man, let's look at this. I mean, coming off a loss, arm triangle, we know he doesn't have a ground game. He's not going to take people to the ground. He's a stand-up guy. Another big loss on his card is Kyle Barijo, but he took him long. Hey, Barijo's pretty good. Decent up-and-coming guy. Dangerous guy. Everywhere. Grappling, striking. Didn't get subbed in that one. But yeah, he hasn't been knocked out since 2021. So 3 years.
And he fought RoboCop.
Yeah, took RoboCop
Christian
long.
Leroy Duncan.
CLD, C whatever. Who cares? He lost. Trash. Yeah, man. My only thing is they're both going to stand up. Neither of them are going to take each other down. Maybe get in the clinch. Maybe Armin might have a little bit more to offer in the clinch. I think Shara's kicking game is decent enough. Shara can't gas out. Shara needs to throw more. We can't just constantly throw wild kicks and elbows. Maybe conserve our gas tank, throw the hands a little bit more and set up the wild kicks. But this should be a good strike up. A good stand-up striking battle, and if it goes long, I'm taking Shara just because the judges, I'm not going to have him screw me. So give me Shara Magomedov on the scorecards.
Fair enough. In this fight, I definitely like the matchup. I think both of them are going to look to stand, trade leg kicks. Both of them do that very effectively. Petrosyan will throw the calf kick. Shar is going to use that leg almost as if it was one of his hands. He throws jabs with it, throws it to the head, throws it to the body, to the legs. Like he continuously throws those kicks. My thing about Shara at this given moment is I told you guys the last time he fought, just be paying very close attention to his matchups. I don't think this is a good matchup for Shara, and I'll tell you why. Petrosyan has seen the likes of Shara before, guys that like to kick a lot, very good strikers, very heavy hitters. Shara has been unproven and putting people away viciously inside of the UFC. I guess you could count the Tricoli knockout late in the third round, a guy stepping up on 2 days' notice whose best accomplishment is dating one of the female UFC fighters that everybody's in love with. Okay, okay. I don't buy it. I've always been high on Shara. I love the guy. I think this is when he gets beat. I'm taking Armin Petrosyan. I think the gas tank's going to be there. If there are grappling exchanges, Petrosyan's the much more experienced guy. He took down Christian Leroy Duncan. Not a lot of people have done that besides RoboCop. He beat both RoboCop and Christian Leroy Duncan. He'll get in the clinch. Shara doesn't have a great clinch game because you're taking away the kicks. He's going to have to start throwing elbows and his punches, which he really doesn't love to do. He kind of just defends takedowns more so than actually throws offensive attacks. I think this is a trap for some people out there, but to each their own. Give me Armin Petrosyan.
Interesting pick there. I mean, yeah, dude. We said it last time Shara fought. And here we are. We'll have to see if I'm blindsided by love, you know, if love's got me. Anyways, moving up the card. This one will tell a lot. Here, I'm excited for this one. Magomed Ankalaev versus Alexander Rakic.
Man, we are flying up this card. This one seemed way high up there when we started doing the breakdown video, and now we're here. This is a very, very intriguing matchup, and not just because of the two fighters, but because of the current odds. Ankalaev is the very heavy favorite to win this. Rakic is no bum. Rakic is no bum. Um, he's coming off the loss to Yuri, Rakic that is, and then before that, he blew out his knee against Jan Blachowicz. So not a whole lot that we've seen from Rakic as of late that can really kind of give us a tell on where he's at and what he is capable of doing. I will tell you, when I went back and rewatched the Jan Blachowicz fight, I had Rakic winning the first 2 rounds. I had him winning that fight before his knee blew out. He throws great leg kicks. He's got legs of steel, absolute legs of steel, and he doesn't stop throwing them. Now, if you go back and watch Magomed Ankalaev versus Jan Blachowicz in that same fight, Blachowicz was the one kicking Ankalaev's legs out. He was on wobbly legs, would have lost that fight if he took maybe 2 more kicks to those calves or the shins. It really didn't matter. He was trying to check it and still getting hurt. That's something to watch out for. I'll give you my prediction. I think Ankalaev has more ways to win. He can wrestle, maybe grapple. I'm going to take Magomed Ankalaev. However, my money will be on Rakic to win either by decision or KO TKO if he lands enough kicks to the calves and to the shins of Magomed Ankalaev because his legs are there for the kicking. They are. He keeps that lead leg long. He keeps it heavy. And against a guy like Rakic, you cannot do that. So that's something to keep an eye out for.
The Yuri Rakic fight. That was on 300, wasn't it?
Yes.
We were in Vegas for that one.
Yes, we were.
That one beat Yuri up. Okay, but we've seen now Yuri's been able to be touched, but then he gassed out, and then Yuri was taking him down, grounded pound, get him out of there.
Well, he caught him pretty good before that
Did catch him, yeah, but Rakic
on the
got
feet.
tired. I think if that same scenario happens, because he will beat up his leg, Ankalaev's leg will beat up. I do not think that's a question, whether he wins or loses. But if he gets tired and Ankalaev gets a hold of him, because Ankalaev's pretty decent at stand up and when to use his wrestling and when he wants to stand up. Because the dude likes to stand up. He'll engage in stand up fights, even though he has the grappler. But I do agree with you. That's a great thing to have in the back pocket. It's a great thing where striking's not going well. Time a well-timed takedown and boom, put him on his back. Let's work for the rest of the round. I am also going to back you and go Magomed and Ankalaev.
Yeah, this one I feel like they're trying to utilize it to tee up the fight against Pereira and Ankalaev. He's been calling Pereira out. Like, I know he wants that fight to happen, so I think he will be on his A game. Don't get me wrong, but with this line, guys, be very, very careful. It's not a great one given the fact that Rakic can kick his way to victory, literally. Um, we've seen it in the past. It may happen to Ankalaev. The thing about Ankalaev, he may fall into a category for me of somewhat of a low IQ fighter. He really might. Because he didn't start using the wrestling against Jan Blachowicz until rounds 4 and 5, and that's what edged him the split decision draw. Otherwise, he was getting pieced up by Jan Blachowicz on the feet, and he like never ever attempted the takedowns until it was desperation mode. We've seen that from him in the past, and he talks about his wrestling, but he never utilizes it. I'm actually of the belief that that's somewhat of just a move to scare his opponents, and I don't think his wrestling is that great. It's there. He can do it. He's shown hints and bits of it, but it's not dominant. He's never like a John Jones or a Daniel Cormier where they're gonna pick you up, slam you on your head, and utilize that to then mix in the striking. No, he relies on the striking. I don't necessarily think the wrestling's all that great.
Hey, could be low IQ. Some people have certain opinions and thoughts about why they're low IQ. I'm not going to comment or speculate. Look it up if you want to know, but
I don't even know what you're saying.
look it up.
Because he's from
You'll know-
Dagestan?
Yeah. Just look it up.
I mean, they're smart fighters. I mean, historically, I mean, we've seen these guys. They'll understand when they need to wrestle. They'll maul you. They'll do good things. But Ankalaev kind of seems like maybe an outlier. He wants to strike and prove that he can be one of the best strikers in the division, and I don't necessarily think he is. This is going to be an interesting matchup. I actually am pretty excited for this one. I will have money on Rakic by KO TKO, thinking he's going to chop away at those legs. But for my picks, give me Ankalaev.
I
All
hope
right, moving up.
Ankalaev wins
Go ahead.
so Pereira knocks him out.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, is that who you would take in that matchup there?
Absolutely. I think he knocks him the fuck out. I don't think it's close.
Yeah, I after going back and watching Ankalaev film, I don't necessarily think the wrestling is there, dude. I really don't. So I actually swayed myself today on the Alex Pereira versus Ankalaev matchup. I thought maybe Pereira would get wrestled. I really don't think so. I really don't. All right, let's move up. Leron Murphy versus Dan Ige, the hero. Not too long ago, coming in on 4 hours' notice against Diego Lopez. That was pretty cool, but can he provide a good performance again? JP, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, dude's a badass for that. Looked great. People are like, oh my god, Dan Ige, stock rising. Looks so good. Diego Lopez on 4 hours. Shut up. Diego Lopez had to cut to 3 different weights. Shut the hell up. He was lucky. Dan Ige was lucky to survive. All right. Calm down.
Darce was tight.
Sure. In this one, Dan Ige.
No, I'm talking Lopez had that Darce on
Oh.
Ige in like round 1 at the end of the round, saved by the bell.
Hey.
You know, he would have been out of there quick.
Ige's a badass, but he ain't no world killer. Let's relax. All right?
JP gets really defensive when I talk poorly about Diego Lopez,
That's
so
my boy.
he mistook my words.
That's my boy. I love Diego Lopez. Dude's made me more money than anybody in the UFC. Dan Ige goes to decision a lot. Dan Ige is not a finisher. He's good, but he's not a finisher. He's tough. He can hang in there with you, but he's not a finisher. So if you're constantly going to decision, then look at Lerone Murphy. Oh, that's quite literally what he does at a high level. He's a UK guy, phenomenal gas tank, good wrestling, good striking. I just think he's better everywhere than Ige. If they both go to decision, Murphy wins literally all of his so far because he's undefeated. Ige's 7-8 in his career decisions. Give me Lerone Murphy.
Can't say I blame you with that one. Lerone Murphy got a great jab. Both these guys, good boxers, and I think they're going to stand and put on an absolute show for you guys. Murphy will kind of just throw that jab out there, pop you, pop you, pop you. All of a sudden, your nose is bleeding pretty badly, or you got a cut over your eye and you got blood dripping down your face. What are you going to do at that point? Lerone will start to open up a little bit, throw some head kicks, throw some big looping strikes, kind of catch you with some big strikes as well. I like his game a lot. I really do. I think Dan Ige is going to push forward, but kind of have a high shell, and I do think that opens up room for the jab and some of those looping hooks to come through. I also have Lerone Murphy to beat 50K Dan Ige.
Big call there. How many have we deviated from? Just one?
Just one, just the Shara Magomedov
The
one.
Shara fight. Interesting. Now, for the big two. The ones that I am the most excited for. And it's not even close. Co-main event. 5-rounder. Khamzat Chimaev, Robert Whittaker.
Yeah. One, thank you, UFC, for making this 5 rounds. It would have been a shame if it was 3. Thank you. Very interesting odds right now. I can start off by telling you that Robert Whittaker coming off a very, very big win his last time out, going up against Ikram Aliskerov, who has fought Khamzat Chimaev in the past, who is very similar stylistically, good wrestler, powerful hands. He went out and fucking starched him in round 1. Looked amazing. I will tell you that. Robert Whittaker, he's fought everybody in this division. Some of the top guys. He's fought really good wrestlers in his past. Think of Yoel Romero, the Soldier of God. That's on his resume. He has a lot of great victories. However, Khamzat Chimaev, Boars, as they call him, is an absolute killer. He's been battling sicknesses in camps, pulling out of a lot of fights because of those sicknesses. They're legit. He's not ducking anyone. The dude's 13-0. He's never lost. I don't think he's afraid to fight anyone. He's just catching a string of bad luck. I believe he's good to go. I believe he's had a good, healthy camp, which is why we're going to see him hopefully on Saturday. I've heard no news to contradict that information as of yet. If they make it to the octagon on Saturday, I have no other choice but to back Khamzat Chimaev in this one. I understand Robert Whittaker can stuff wrestling, throws big, powerful strikes. But you know what? Chimaev can trade too. He can catch you off guard. But man, when he does choose to attack, he will send it with everything he's got. He seems to have a pretty good gas tank as well. I think Chimaev wins on Saturday.
Yeah, not a bad call. This one really boggles my mind, okay? It really joshed my taters. Why on God's green earth would Khamzat accept a 5-rounder versus Robert Whittaker? Okay, the Khamzat fought Gilbert Burns for 3 rounds. Dude looked like he couldn't stand. All right, we need, if you're on the Khamzat side, you really need him to not gas out. And I've never been so worried about it in my life. Okay. Robert Whittaker looked great against Aliskerov. Aliskerov didn't really offer him anything, but yeah, he looked great. Starched him. People are like, oh, Kamaru, 6 days. Khamzat didn't look good. Kamaru is a phenomenal high-level wrestler that was dominant for years. And now you guys are using that to say, oh, Khamzat didn't look good. What the hell are we talking about? But yes, I agree. If this was 3 rounds, I'd say Khamzat, no question. Since it's 5 rounds, a little worried about it. Not going to lie. My pick is Khamzat. Same thing Brevin did with the, what fight was it? The Rakic fight? I'm going to do with this fight. If you're going to bet on Rob, it's 4th or 5th round stoppage.
KO. Yeah, I'm rocking with you on that one, and I'll hedge it with the round 4 and round 5 KO from Robert. He's been there, he's done that, he's gone 5 rounds for so many damn fights. He knows how to prepare for these fights. I'm a little worried about Chimaev's training camp with the sicknesses, the illnesses. Where is he at stamina wise? How long has he been able to do cardio for? Right? All I know is what I've seen on paper. The dude's never lost, whether battling sickness, whether battling ups and downs throughout the course of the fight. He still finds a way to win. He is an absolute killer. I think he can dominate Robert Whittaker. The one thing that I wish we really would have seen was Aliskerov get a chance to wrestle Robert Whittaker. I think that would have told us a lot. Yeah, good on Robert Whittaker catching him. Uppercut, beautiful. But it doesn't tell us where Whittaker's wrestling's at for this Chimaev fight. If they would have got into a lot of scrambles and Robert fought them off well, all right, maybe we're having a different conversation. And I know he's capable of doing that, but he's also getting up there in age a little bit. He's been in a lot of wars. I don't know, man. Khamzat, even though he's similar in age, hasn't fought nearly as much as Robert Whittaker has. Maybe Khamzat's a little fresher.
I'm worried he's like really bad immunocompromised, like badly in his life, because that dude's gotten violently ill way too much.
Well, he is. I mean, the doctor told him he's got to stop training altogether and just do absolutely nothing. I think his immune system is very badly compromised. But if he's healthy and he can fight with the best of them.
It'll be a barn burner.
I mean, he's not going to get sick in the middle of the fight, you know.
Vomits all
Maybe he
over him.
will. Yeah, maybe he'll be a little. He'll pull a little Debo Samuel.
Oh my God. That's funny.
Leaves in the middle of the game. Hey, help the Chiefs win. I'll take it.
Now you got
All right.
hospitalized, pal.
Had pneumonia. We've all had pneumonia. Hopefully he's okay. Hopefully he is okay. All right, that does take us to the moment you've all been waiting for. Ilya Topuria going up against the blessed Max Holloway. I'm super stoked for this one, JP, and I know you are too. What are your thoughts on how this one's going to go down?
Oh man, this one is by far the hardest decision I had to make on this card. God, Max Holloway. I think you ask anybody, even casuals, who's your favorite UFC fighter? I think Max Holloway's up there. The BMF himself. Funny story for you guys. Okay, well, I don't think we told this story on the channel before. We were in Vegas for 300. Okay, we were having a bachelor party. It was my bachelor party. We're watching the fights. Me and Brevin had a parlay, and the last leg of the parlay was for the Gaethje and Holloway fight to go the distance. And we would have been in some fat profit. I've never been so happy / pissed off / just shocked in my life when we sat there and watched him knock him out with 1 second left. Impossible to not like Max. My only thing.
Dude, sorry to cut you off.
No,
I
go ahead.
also had in those same parlays, I had Max Holloway to win by decision as well, who was the underdog.
Yeah.
That thing was so juiced up. JP and I would have been at the blackjack table for the next 2 nights straight with house money at that point because we would have been way in profit.
It was God, dude. Like, it's like, holy shit, that was crazy. A second is preventing me from being in fat profit. Is that a joke?
I would have bought us a bottle at the after party.
Oh man, we've been up there with sugar. Fuck. But Max, I don't know, man. It's hard for me to envision Max putting Ilya out like that because Ilya, fuck, that boy's stand up, his boxing. Max wants to say he's the best in the UFC. I don't know. Ilya's boxing is pretty goddamn good. The way he changes levels, mixes it up with the body. I mean, the hooks. That way, I told you, lightweights, featherweights, these short, stocky fucking lightweights who can wrestle will come forward with everything and they'll change levels and go to the body. The moment you dip down and bring one hand down, they're coming right over the top. They slam that hook. He did it to Volk. And it flatlines people. Max throws a lot of volume all the time. He doesn't have like stiff KO power that Topuria does. I would love to pick Max. I think if Max is going to win, I think he has to knock him out because Ilya does have jiu-jitsu and wrestling in the back pocket. I can't go with my bias pick. I am going to go with Ilya Topuria on the scorecards. I think it goes long, and I think Ilya takes it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this one is an absolutely crazy fight. There's a lot of build-up behind it. I love to see the two guys chirping back and forth in interviews. Um, Max Holloway, absolutely a legend inside of the UFC, has put on some great performances and great entertainment for years and years for us as UFC fans. He's going up against probably his toughest opponent to date. Ilya Topuria, undefeated, 15-0, has, like JP said, the skills to stand and bang on the feet, the skills to take you down, wrestle you, and then the skills to submit you as well if he needs to. I think there's a lot more ways to win. I'm also taking Ilya Topuria to get it done. I think this is a fight where there's going to be a lot of people backing Max because of their love for Max, but you got to trust what we see on paper and the skill set involved in the fight. I think Ilya has that, and I think he can get it done.
You think it goes long too?
Yeah, I do think it can go long. Both of them are very calculated, very high IQ for the both of these fighters. I think they do go long.
Second question. Ilya's talking a lot of shit saying, oh, come in the first 10 seconds and point to the ground. You think if Max does that at all, is Ilya going to do it or do you think he's going to shoot?
Well, Max already said he's not going to do it. I don't think Ilya's going to do it either. I think he's just trying to play some mind games before the fight, get in his head, kind of call him out, keep Max guessing
I,
on what's going to happen. And I think that's a good move. That's a good move for Ilya.
I hope, because I think it goes long, I hope they do it at the end of the 5th round. But I feel like there's a scenario where they do it and Ilya just submarines right in and tries to take him down.
He might. He really might. And then it's like, I mean, how are you going to blame him? People can say what they want, but if he has that belt wrapped around his waist with a, title defense against Max Holloway, 10 years from now, no one's going to talk about, oh, instead of pointing to the middle, he shot the takedown.
Yeah.
No one's going to talk about that.
I think it's going to be funny when it happens.
All right. Well, that is it for the card, but that's not it for the show. Don't go anywhere. We have the show parlays coming for you guys. We've been very close to hitting some absolutely insane parlays as of late. We have hit some insane parlays as of late. Your boy and I have been absolutely locked in. Even with a crummy card last weekend, we were still very, very close. About 2 minutes and 30 seconds away from being in profit still. Hey, all I'm saying is back us. We got your back. We do the research. You guys just have fun and follow along. Let's start off with Locked Door MMA's Lock of the Night to get us started for our parlays. JP, who you got?
This might be a shocker to some people. A big surprise. Okay? We've seen him 3 times on the show. The Bullet Shara Magomedov is not my lock. I'm not going with Shara. It's too close of a fight, too sketchy. Can't do it 3 times. Like Brevin said, it just kind of feels like a trap. But that's okay, because my other boy, right behind me, Mr. Mitomek Orolbai, okay? Mitomek is going to beat Rebecki. I think Rebecki gasses out. I think he either gets a sub late or it goes long and he gets it on the scorecards. Give me Orolbai.
Love it. We love Meet the Beck over here. For my pick, I'm going to have to take the better boxer in this matchup. Give me Lerone Murphy to get it done over Dan Ige. He's got the jab. He has good wrestling, and I think he's just sharper and faster than Dan. I'm taking Murphy.
Big call there.
Big call. All right, let's move to Brevin's basic, and then we'll save JP's juicer for last. We're going to kick it off with the one, the only, no immune system bowlers. Give me Khamzat Chimaev. I think he gets it done over Robert Whittaker. Next up, we're going to go to the main event. You guys already know who we're taking. Ilya Topuria El Matador to get it done. And then finally, you guys know I have to include the locks. That's just who I am. Give me Lerone Murphy to outbox Dan Ige. Currently, that's going to bring us to plus 176, so I'm giving you guys plus money. Once again, I've been on an absolute heater with these basics. Don't miss out on your opportunity to follow these picks.
Hey, the last 3 fights of the night, I think will be juiced.
Oh, I'll be excited.
Oh, yeah, baby. Speaking of juiced, let's hit the juicer, baby. All right. We've been close. Okay, we've been close with the juicer. Had some guys fall out. Some guys shit the bed. But not this week. Because Brevin taught us a valuable lesson a couple weeks ago and said, go back to class. So we're going back to class. We're also going to the Middle East, okay? We're doing the OV-EV juicer parlay, baby. And this one's hitting. All right? First fight of the night. Naurdiev, however you say it, Naruto, who cares? Throw him in there. He's beating Bruno Silva, okay? Move up the card. Renat Fakhretdinov. Second time we've seen him fight now. Both in Abu Dhabi. Throw him in there. All right, third one. Abus Magomedov. You getting the thing now? Let's get the train rolling. Throw him in there. Next one. Had to do it. Char's not the lock, but he's in the juicer. We'll throw him in the juicer. Okay, we'll give him some love. Should be a close fight. Brevin may not back the juicer, but that's okay. More for us, okay? We'll spread it around. We'll share it. All right. After that, the last one, I believe, Magomed Ankalaev. Actually, that's not the last one. I lied. Ankalaev's the second to last one because your boy with no immune system's the last one. Khamzat Chimaev, 6 legs, OV-EV, going back to class. I'm pretty sure right now that's like plus 999. Hey, I don't know why.
On sale? What's going on?
I don't know why I said it like that either. Like I'm fucking putting something on sale. Come get it free, $9.99. Hey, I'm just saying, nice even plus 1,000. Throw 100 on the juicer, baby.
Yeah, 100 on the juicer. JP acts like I don't
man.
back the juicer. I have major FOMO. I always have major FOMO, so I'm always throwing money on the parlays. I don't want JP to reap the reward and be happy without his boy happy too. When one of us eats, we all eat on the show. Let's go.
Hey, got a good feeling about this weekend. All right.
Oh, I got a great feeling.
Let's hope it comes through for us, pal. What time's it start? 11?
Oof. 10 a.m. Eastern. Early, brother.
Ooh,
early,
10?
early.
Shit.
Eastern.
Get up, make some breakfast. Oh, 10 Eastern? Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
so that's 7 our time, brother.
No
It's going to be an
way.
early one.
I was going to say get the mimosas flowing, but you're going to be shitty by 12 o'clock.
You already know the mimosas be flowing either way. I don't care what time it is. It's 5 o'clock somewhere and UFC's on, so you know your boy's got a drink in his hand. That's how it goes.
Hey,
It's just how it goes.
You know what? Let's have a damn good Saturday, win some bets. Because we all know Sunday ain't going well. God, Jesus Christ.
Hey, it is for one of us, though.
Shut the hell up.
I'm just saying, we play each other, so one of us will, by default, have a good weekend.
Hey, you know who the last team to beat the Chiefs was?
Yeah, you guys on Christmas, and with the signing of Desmond Ritter, maybe there's some juice flowing inside of the Raiders buildings, man. Maybe you guys got some momentum going.
Throw $100 on the juicer. When it hits, $100 on Raiders money line. Thank me later.
Just carry it over. No, thank you.
Oh, boy. Yeah, comment
All
down
right.
below. Who's winning, Raiders or Chiefs? Might be a close poll.
Or comment on who you guys think are going to win the fights on UFC 308. That is what we're here to do. We're not talking about the Raiders' downfall. We're talking about the guys that throw hands every weekend for our enjoyment. That's what we want to hear. If you guys have things that you want us to discuss on the show, feel free to drop it in the chat or in the comment section. We love to see it, and we will talk about it. We'll create that content for you guys. If you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Like we said, I don't know if we're going to be at 100 subscribers yet. We have another video that we're releasing before this one comes out. But if we're not, make sure you go ahead and become our 100 subscriber. That would be absolutely awesome, and it means the world to JP and I, and we really appreciate it. And we appreciate you guys as always. And with that, I'll hand it over to JP.
Absolutely. Another weekend, another card. Stacked card. Good card. Early card. Yeah, sorry this video's a little long. Had a lot to say, okay? Because for once, we got a good card. So, like Brevin said, let us know down in the comments. You guys agree with our picks? Any bets y'all are placing? What y'all think is hitting? But, yeah, man, we appreciate every single one of you. It's been a great weekend. Let's have another good one. As always, it was a pleasure. Bingo, bango, baby. Peace.